Society lives for a while. But once he came back, there will be absolutely no survivors. A sentence of the worst. Success shattered her hopes. She really hoped he would tell her, "Your family will not survive. The weather too." The most unfortunate thing is to shake your head. Give her some bad news that she really didn't want to hear. Look at her hurt. Thank heaven on the one hand is not willing, running to support her small body. Back to the surest side interrupted. You are a worm in the belly of the devil. Based on what it says to stop the baby, the whole body will be destroyed. The one who comes back is the legendary master. Can make the devil 7 abstinence is not right, Sao. Then you think wrong. I'm not a worm in his stomach. But he and I are the same kind of people. I can probably guess his thoughts 1 point to parts. At first we were guilty of him. Of course, I was ready to betray you. When he comes back, he will destroy the grass. But at that time, the old man was looking for a stop. If it was so, I can't find heaven. Legendary cow player. He'll keep his life for the others, to lure the old man back. Once he returns, there will be an end in sight. I really don't want to see her suffer. But he knows how to say Ra is good. If it wasn't time for her to leave, the holiday would collapse because of her. She will regret it for the rest of her life. I am glad to see you again. Like to stop. Her face was getting worse and worse. The body also keeps trembling. He whispered for an hour. This person doesn't know how to choose words or why. He immediately grabbed his collar and screamed loudly. Even though Sao Thien hung master, he's also a leader in the 7 kingdoms. I don't believe Demon 7 has this liver. Dare to destroy the clan that has the legendary Gao. Probably laughed for an hour. It's because there's a guru. So he had to wait for the weather to return. New weed killer at the root. You think one thing is wrong. God's people are not strong. The Master of Heaven has no weakness. It's really scary. By 0, why do you think God is afraid of us? He's just afraid of the sword. Serving behind you. If he is, I'm just a free practitioner with no problems. They could have killed us straight away. But listen to your words. Thank heaven Young really a little rebuttal. But I couldn't say a word for a long time. What he said he did may not know. But he really didn't. Stop suffering like that. The snow was silent for a long time. The body is still trembling. But now I can say it with my head held high. You to stop arguing. For great CA, I know your analysis is always ethical. Tell me the truth. If we go back, use top lot status to raw condition. It can protect the secretion or not. I hear you want to go. Thank heaven immediately. It can't be stopped. Most likely, she was determined to return. Sighing nod. You devil, 7 Han really needs lots of peaks to practice that martial art. So your way is possible but only. Not waiting for him to finish. You are afraid that behind the analysis, it makes her unacceptable. She was willing to deceive herself. I just want to believe that she can cut the family. She definitely put on her hands. It's not just anything. It's possible. For Dai Ca Thien Duong Dai Ca. Thank you for your care. We're breaking up here. I have never left the city since I was a child. I can't come to see the famous servant sword. So go goodbye. Most likely, the sky glances at each other. I looked at her face full of tears and walked away. But right now, thank God for coming to hold her hand. Can't be prevented. You know they are worried about your safety. I want to stop her from coming back, but she really can't leave her family behind. She left the place that had surrounded her for 16 years. She ignored the barrier of the sky. Just turn around and smile softly, don't force me. I know not to fight back. I will hate you for the rest of my life. Finish her words quickly, run away. She's afraid to stay a little longer, she's afraid she won't be able to leave. It's because she's interested. There is no chance to repay your kindness. Then in the next life I will repay you. If there really is an afterlife. Except 88 Fitness 1. I watched the dark shadow of her back leave. Eyes full of regret. We've been through hell together these past few months. He really sees her as a soulmate. I really don't want you to have any bad luck. Now I look towards the worst. He really wants this now. He could think of a way to save her. But the other just stood there indifferent. A form that doesn't care. Not even a word of clinging. The black man immediately stopped asking questions. It can actually be safe. Probably shaking his head. That's temporary. But once you become a rock and die. It is also the time when the weather collapses. For now, why do you want to stop? Thank heaven, young aggressive bite lips angrily asked. Probably the most indifferent shrug. At least until he dies. She thinks she can keep her family safe? Can safely leave. He just finished. The sky has aggressively attacked him. He knew this guy before he died. But through these months, he doesn't believe he's still indifferent. Stop watching the child go to death. They didn't even have fun together before. But it's the same now. He's actually 7 times more likely to leave. Most definitely clean the stain. The blood on his face slowly stood up. Turned towards the celestial ocean coldly said, "What do you want to do?" Thank God to stop walking. But he didn't turn around and say, "I want to save you. Based on you. With the power of his 8 major scenes. How to fight with the legendary high priest just now. Don't you see the difference?" Most certainly the most contemptuous lips. Of course, I know he doesn't know why. But he couldn't open his eyes. Watch her go to death like that. He aggressively gripped his hands to power. Be persistent in saying that. Better than someone who does nothing like you. More than last time, we don't have a chance to defeat the demon. Probably the most. I heard him talk about forcing the 7 demons into battle. He looked at him like a fool. Before that, they could almost force the demon 7. The defeat is due to the Devil 7 disdain. Besides, they had a lot of cards. But take the current situation. Devil 7 as SAO can be scheming again. Thought and spoke coldly. This time it's because we ambushed the French before. That's why I got the news. And now what? How do you put the fight in front of him? Then invite him in again. How do you do that? Thank God he is not stupid. He knows all those things well. But he is certain. I will not ignore the smell like you. Thank God for speaking again to the most powerful. I know you're an unreliable person. But the body is male. You should keep your own promise. He finished his words and quickly ran away. Most likely, I watched his back leave, clenched his hands into fists and muttered, "Even if you leave, I can only watch him go to death. You can't do anything." I agree. Even if I die, I don't want to be a coward. Looking at his back, he was determined to leave. He thought for a while. Then open your mouth and whisper. Who said Lao Tzu did nothing? Most likely, he is always careful. Every step is always well planned. There will be no fighting with the enemy without a plan. He wants to be sure of winning. Force the enemy to death. Thought. Most likely, he turned his back deep into the forest. A little later, in front of the big cave. Probably the most hidden battle. Do not be disturbed by AI. He needs quiet time to do the next thing. Then he goes back inside, drawing bizarre shapes on the ground with your hands. Bring the spirit stone with diamonds saved SA covered the battle. The layout is okay. In his hand he appeared to save Kwang. 2 pairs of wings also appear in the center. Look at the battle in front of you. He couldn't help but cry for a few hours. I really didn't expect a day. You have to use this dangerous technique on my own. But right now, this is the only way, so that he can raise the cultivation vi as quickly as possible. The enemy is the low devil, an old man with both strength and mind. There was no absolute power. There will be a trick to winning. Heaven will not be perfect. At this time, the most powerful force is used. Fight towards the center of the battle. A yellow light mixed with blood appeared, moving around the map. Heaven and Ghost decide to train the city. 89 Workout 2. The Great Ghost decided that it could make materials. Air training in the body. Become an invincible diamond body. After successfully practicing this technique, the bones will be as strong as steel. Nothing can stop it. But the transition is extremely painful. Bringing the magic-making materials into the body. It would be like using 1,000 swords, carved into every inch of flesh. This is 1,000 times more painful than the. If training doesn't work, body and spirit will be destroyed. 1,000 lives of disobedience. At this point, the world is probably already inside. Battle Center. Power Start. Go to the first level of training. Training muscle. A pressure vessel begins to penetrate the muscles of the body. This type of exercise involves wanting the whole body, from top to bottom, from the inside out destroyed clean. Then replace diamonds saved SA into bone regeneration. So after training, can be internal and external swordsmanship diamond indestructible. But the pain is the same. It's hard for people to bear. The body of the most mortal now. We've entered the first floor. The whole body is constantly shaking. Bite your teeth. Try to endure the pain without a sound. If it wasn't for saving the incense, you certainly don't have to suffer like that yourself. Force yourself to practice this kind of self-harm. Even though I know, is this training method any good? It's so self-contradictory. A moment later, I finally managed to get through the first level. Difficulty breathing out a breath. After the pain is over, he continued on to the second level of training. Core training. As the name implies, this layer strengthens the stability of the bones. This process is 10 times more painful than the first layer. The pain comes again. I can't help but shake one. Bite your teeth and put your hands on the ground. Hold down the pain without a sound. If not at the time of the visceral augmentation, it will be so painful. If you lose it, the gods will die. At this point, he really suspects 9 ghosts do so to create such a shitty training method. The pain finally subsided a little. But right now, he felt again the cry of the bones. Every crack made him spit out a sip of blood. Scream out loud for an hour. We've finally come to the most important part, training the 5 organs. Just be able to endure this last floor. The diamond body will be completed immediately. Not long ago, he was now sweating and biting his teeth. Rays of determination appeared in her eyes. Even if you have lost too much blood now, but still peeked a happy ray. He finally succeeded. Now, I just need to take care of my disabled body. But right now, his smile suddenly died. In the chest, there's constant pain. Directly shout out for an hour. Diamond saved SA after destroying 6 covers of 5 organs. His eyes entered his brain. It's starting to stimulate the brain to destroy the primordial. The most important part of a monk is the head. God just died and had no place to be buried. 1,000 times I didn't expect it. The final step of this practice. He is the original God. Vaguely closed eyes, feel the pain from deep inside transmit raw. The original God of Y is slowly eroding to the very end. I can't help but laugh. In the same way, the Emperor found himself dead. It's ridiculous. Suddenly, in his mind, he's running out of memories. From the moment we started going into the magic, a way of life and death, he became the head of the 8 holy places. To become the first false saint. A path of glory. Then achieve 9Y6. More joyful in my heart. Until he was betrayed, dead in the flesh. Once again reborn into the lost family. Become a butler. Until the end. When you meet the sky and stop the incense, give them a memorable memory. Every memory is engraved in his head. In his mouth he is now constantly muttering 3 words. Stop incense. I remember her biting her teeth and dragging the ruined body of the rain. Remember she left it all behind. Even if you die, they also faced the white wolves in front of them. Suddenly, at this moment, he opened his eyes and shouted, "Stop, children!" At this moment, he suddenly remembered his practice. This is because to save the smell. Very quickly he was awake. Turn the map again. It's a force that counts everything inside. Right then, on his forehead, he suddenly scattered a blue flame. Accelerated into a stream of water that flows into him. At the same time integrate with the underground battle. 90 back to face. At the same time, at the age of 7. The weather just returned, it didn't feel right. The snow has been so heavy. But now there is no. The guards couldn't hear people either. Quiet to scary. Very fast. Remember the most evil words spoken in the forest. You can see that there's a problem. Take a low mood inside. Go to the interior. I saw the body of the demon 7 sitting there. calmly enjoy the delicious tea, as if to ask the guilty. The snow pretends to be calm. On your knees, the devil 7 speaks. I don't know the 7 elders. The old man could not be welcomed from a distance. Excuse me, excuse me. The 7-year-old looked deeply at the man on his knees. Open the mouth of heaven. It has been you Min Cup. We've been protecting for 100 years. We have never treated you badly. Listen to hear. The snow was in a hurry to admit it. That's right. Without the support of you Min Cup and 7 elders. Then release. How can we have the glory that we have today? Devil 7 slowly stood up and nodded deeply. Go to the front. He patted her on his shoulder. There's a smile on my face, haha. Good, you know that's good. But why do you still associate with outsiders? Diamond saved SA of you Min My Cup. When you hear this word, God is threatened. Immediately kneeling on the ground, the mandarin's head collapsed. The 7 elders must have misunderstood. I have always been loyal to you. It's absolutely not going to work out, this kind of thing. And we don't have that liver. You Devil 7 saw the nature of heaven refused to admit. The cold and aggressive banging on the table. You have committed rebellion. Eat apple tree, stir-fried fig tree. I really didn't believe it before. But the old man can't believe it now. I ask you, where does your niece like to stop? The Devil 7 refers to the weather-stopped incense. I don't know how to answer. He also agreed to let her go. But now you Min Cup's people have also come to ask the sin. You can't blame them. Setting the silent fear in your heart. His head filled with cold sweat. I can see that God is not speaking. The 7-year-old is angry. Your good niece. With 2 bad boys stealing the old man's diamonds. He died in the mountains. 7 demons cannot help but remember the 3 most evil people. All his life, he almost died. Defeated at their hands. Not to end them personally. But think about how 3 of them got seriously injured. Absolutely, you can't escape the monster's hand. Remember to stop. He couldn't help but feel a little regret. She was useful to him before. Now there's absolutely nothing. There are no diamonds, save SA the top lot is not hurt. This 7 he must demand it back from the family. The devil sighed for an hour. Then get angry and order you not to bring them up here. As he just said. I saw the people being let out. They're tied up. There are wounds that are bleeding. He decided to see this scene and bite his lip. Slowly he got up and roared in anger at the 7 elders. We sold our lives for 100 years. Closed in Thanmin City. Always loyal to the position. There is also suffering without work. How can you Min Cup treat with families that depend on you like that? Sao. Don't look at you as an inferior family. But the goods are like you. As long as we drink, we are content. How much you can't raise? The old man looked out. You have not depended on anything so far. It's just a bunch of guard dogs. It's a little useful. We give you a bone. A little reward. Then you should be grateful. And now he's telling his owner the price. Then this dog doesn't need it. Just a dog at the door. Dare to speak with the owner. Maybe it's time for a new dog. The Devil 7 laughed contemptuously at a word, raw evil words. But God can hear it. My eyes are getting red. Clench your fists. His anger has reached its peak. Full body aura outburst. Loyal to drugs for years. But in you Min's eyes, the glass is shining. They don't even have me. Weather conditions make Sao can withstand. At this moment, Ra and Yu Min Cup almost turned around. You don't need glasses either. I love Yu Min's people. I think the snow is turning its eyes to the devil. 7. I ask you the question of your son. Do you want to use her as a crest? To practice or not? You Devil 7 listen to the divine decree, say Ra. It's amazing. But I know the secret. The cup has been hidden for so long. Take a look at the sky. I don't want to hide anymore. He laughed out loud. I don't think you're that smart every day. We've been doing this for a long time. No family has discovered that yet. But you looked out. I don't blame you for wanting to betray Ra because of this. Convenient ahead. The Devil 7 finally admitted. God is not angry. You Min Cup, I can do that kind of cruel thing. He wants to pay attention to his niece. You almost put her to death. Pressed to the end. Setting the heavens to radiate the power of the heavens. Master rushed towards you Devil 7, la big bastard. He risked his life with you. The 7 demons standing in front of him did not panic. The weather has just broken through the sky. He is not his opponent either. He blinked softly, staring at the body that's coming. Prepare to fight. Accepted 91. As soon as a Chancellor of Heaven. Prepare to hit down. The Demon 7 also hit Ra, falling on his chest. The celestial setting feels the gas is stagnant. You can't spray out a sip of blood. After all, the power of both differences. The speed of the Demon 7 is too fast. The basic determinism is not keeping up. Very fast. Only a few battles were won. The snow has been knocked against the wall by the Demon 7. Kneeling on the ground without stopping to vomit blood. The Devil 7 comes in front of you. Tian Tian smiles kindly. The old man was already the 3rd floor master of heaven. You are just a dreamer. Just broke through the sky. The difference between you and me, it's like heaven and earth. Not someone you can fight. Don't worry about dying. Wait a minute. Then your sons and grandsons will go to hell. With you. Weakened decision to sit against the wall. The face shows compassion. He didn't expect Ra to end up like this. But fortunately, the devil thought that the child was dead. If we don't reveal, there's really no way I left. He closed his eyes and waited for death to come. Just as a leader of the Demon 7 is about to strike down, a loud shout came to a stop. By the sound of looking through, I just saw the mirror standing there. He also holds a sharp knife in his hand. Looking at the person standing there, Demon 7 cannot help but be surprised. With just one atmospheric condenser, that can escape the claws of the Kier monster. But he doesn't care either. She returned. That is, his peak is still not happy. You're not dead yet. The snow stopped looking at him. He's looking around. The weather is now. It's just a massacre. Her father, and she's tied up. Her skin was also severely injured. On people, endlessly flowing out the scarlet blood. On the face there's a light. It's all about her. The weather has just happened. So she must save them. She looked at the devil again, and she was angry. The knife on the hand next to the neck bite the teeth said. Not, you want me to do the exercises. Let my family go quickly. Or I will kill myself in front of you. The seven-eyed devil looked at the knife in his hand. She laughed for an hour. Stop it, you also overestimate yourself. But I want you to be the top. But it's not that you can't do it without you. You have no right to make conditions with me. The woman heard him immediately startled. In the silent fear. But very quickly she remembered the words of the greatest of all she believed. He looked up at the low devil. Her eyes became more determined. The hand is closer. There was also blood on his neck. 7. Do not deceive me, your elders. I know your cup is not enough. So we're really important. If you said so, I will die with my family. Stop, I don't. Stop the next hand. Heaven and the devil. 7 saw her act. One side is afraid that something will happen to her. He was afraid that she would destroy his plan. But in general, I want you not to hurt yourself. I stopped feeling so excited, of course. Probably the most correct. You have the right to make conditions with him. And then she continued to watch. The 7 elders still can't bear to let me die. The devil stared at her for a moment. Immediately turn in your head. I don't believe this head is.